Listen, I'm going to take a moment to welcome these people to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we, and by we I mean me, Apple, my co-host / co-founder Vincent, we dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth and what is not. And just welcome. Welcome to my house. Welcome to this podcast. And welcome to the final episode of Crocvember. We're here. Every good thing comes to an end eventually. I mean, it also ended last week because we did an alligator movie, but only 5 people watched that. So this week is actually ending. Because this week we are doing 1999's very own Lake Placid. Some would say it's not the OG Croc movie, but some would say this is the first crocodile movie they ever watched.
What's the OG one?
I mean, there's probably just more crocodile movies prior to this.
As in they have made another crocodile movie.
They've made another crocodile movie prior to Lake Placid. But for many people, Lake Placid is that movie that they watch in the early 2000s, late 90s, and they said, hey man, this is the first croc movie I've ever watched, and this is the gold standard of crocodile movies.
Because if you do it first, you do it best.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't matter how good everything is after that. Right? If you look back on that first one, you're going to think people say
it set the pace.
You look at Jerry West. Like Jerry West, killer, He was the first to ever do it, at least on the NBA logo. He was the first to ever do it. You put Jerry West up against Mo Bamba now, that's it for him. That's it for him, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You don't need to put him up against
Jerry
LeBron
West's
James.
old now.
I mean, Jerry West is still kicking. And maybe he can shoot a basketball, maybe he can pass. But I'm going to give you some facts on this movie. And then we'll get into it, man. We'll just get into this. It's got the 5.8 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got the 47% on the Rotten Tomatoes. It had a box office of 56.9 million. And that's on a budget of something that it's not showing me here, but we can get into that later. Now, this is a reason why you should watch this movie. It's because it's harrowing, it's incredible, and it's thrilling. A giant man-eating crocodile attacks innocent people at Black Lake, a vacation spot in Maine. Soon a dysfunctional group of experts is called in to end the beast's reign of terror. And we're here. We're going to jump right into this, Vincent, because this is the final episode of Crocvember. And just like this movie, we're going to jump right into some crocodile action. Okay? So let's, right off the bat, what did you think about Lake Placid?
It's fine.
Because I have watched this movie before.
You've watched this movie before?
And I watched it again.
Because it was the first to ever do it.
It was the first to ever do it. I remember I would have been about 7 years old. I watched this movie.
You see a man getting pulled out onto a boat and it's half a man. And you're going, yeah, all is well.
If you see a half a man get pulled onto a boat, do you do CPR?
You just throw him back over the other side of the boat.
Because if you start doing CPR on a man that's half in the boat, half out the boat, you're just pushing blood out.
Oh man, that was kind of brutal to start the movie off as well.
And that's how the movie starts. Brendan Gleeson's very own is on the boat with a man with a snorkel, and they're going into the water just to check some things out.
Just tag some beavers.
That's it. They're tagging beavers, but little did they know they're getting tagged up by a crocodile. And again, this is like a 20-something foot crocodile. This is 7.6 meters.
They said 30 feet.
That's right. And that's off the eye.
That's right. The crocodile had pulled a bear into the water, and they were like, nah, croc's 30 feet. 30 feet. You didn't even see the whole crocodile.
Yeah, but it's the whole spider method, right? When you're scared of something, it's always bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah.
But we're talking about probably around 7.6 meters. We've got lots of crocodile movies here that were 7.6 meter crocs. That's what they're doing here. And I'm excited for that. Now, you know what I want to say right off the bat, and this could be just the synopsis for this movie. The people in this movie are what make it a good movie. And when I say good, I'm not saying that this is, you're not going to write home about it. But in Crocvember, you're going to watch this movie.
Yeah, that's right, because there's not that many crocodile movies. I mean, Lake Placid, they had 15 of them.
Yeah, there's 7 Lake Placids. I think there's 7. It might be 6.
Is it all in the same lake?
I mean, we could check that. But I'm assuming you call it Lake Placid. It's going to be...
It's not even called Lake Placid anyway.
It's called Black Lake.
It's called Black Lake.
But Betty White, she's saying they should have called this place Lake Placid. Something along those lines. So Lake Placid 2 came out in 2007. So that's a bit of a gap, you know?
Yeah.
And then Lake Placid 3 came out in 2010. Lake Placid, the final chapter.
I don't care what they're called. Tell me if they're still set in Lake Placid.
Oh, right.
That was the question.
Yeah, but you got to hear about Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
So is that in the same lake? So is the anaconda going to them, or are they going to the anaconda?
Yeah, let's figure that out. Let's figure that out because this is directed by A.B. Stone, and we could do Lake Placid versus Anaconda next year. I can't see if it's in Lake Placid. After surviving the attack in Lake Placid, the final chapter, due to his leg injuries, he's got a man's got an eye patch and he's got a wooden leg. But I can't see if this is in Lake Placid. No one told me if this is in Lake Placid.
I thought we started off, he's got a wooden leg and he's got an eye patch, and I'm thinking the crocodile. Crocodile, man. The crocodile got real beat up, but like he's ready to go. He's ready. UFC 273 against Anaconda. It's Rumble in the Jungle.
Dude, I mean, it's Rumble in the Jungle, and both of them are genetically modified organisms. They're going into the water. They're back in Lake Placid. Let's just say they're in Lake Placid again.
They got to be in Lake Placid.
Well, I mean, they could be elsewhere because Lake Placid isn't the name of it.
No, that's right.
You know, so like
Lake Placid is in here, is in your heart.
Home is where the heart is, and Lake Placid is wherever a big crocodile is.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the dynamics between the people in this movie, Vincent?
I like what was the lady's name? Kelly?
It could be Yvonne Shelley. It could be Kelly.
I don't know any of the characters' names. There was Kelly and there was something Sears.
So yeah, there's Kelly Scott.
Kelly.
We got Hector Sear, who's
Hector
played by
Sear.
Oliver Platt. He's the man that goes out there. He's researching crocodiles. He's swimming with crocodiles. He loves crocodiles. He's sort of on the same spec as like maybe he loves them too much.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what he's trying to. He's referring to them as deities in other cultures, but I'm also thinking he's referring to them as something else.
Yeah.
Like he's got croc skin something, right? And then we got Brendan Gleeson. And Bill Pullman, of course.
You started off with the characters' names and then you went to the actors' names.
Yeah, I'm not. We're just calling Bill Pullman and Brendan because they're synonymous with their acting names.
So the individuals, you call them by their name, you know who it is because it's their name. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if someone calls me by my name, I know they're talking to me. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there's some actors that. And it goes the same with the characters. Like you call an actor the character's name.
Yeah.
That's just facts for human nature. But let's get into the characters here and their dynamic.
I like Kelly. Brendan Gleeson was all right. The other dude was pretty dead. Michael Sears, he was okay. And that's about it. That's it.
You didn't find Oliver Platt like just being so obsessed with crocodiles hilarious at times, and then Brendan Gleeson him button heads. I mean, that's comedy, man.
Towards the end, it was comedy. But at the start, Sears was just, I didn't find him interesting at all. But also, this movie and Betty White was not good in this movie.
Betty White's just there to be like, hey, I'm Betty White, but look at me swear at someone.
Yeah, and they were the worst insults, and they felt so manufactured.
I mean,
it was scripted. I know that.
But they didn't even have AI back then, is what you're saying.
It didn't even feel like a real insult. It felt like, hey, I'm going to say this sentence. Oh, hold on. What do you want me to say? Oh, yeah, you ass hat.
Ass hat is that's a thing that people call people.
I'm not saying they're using. No, technically that's not an insult. I'm just saying they sounded bad.
Yeah, but you're coming at me telling me like they got bad sounding insults, and then you're telling me like ass hat, like that's the issue. So that's why I'm coming at you with saying, but ass hat's like that's an insult. Let's look up quotes, and we can see if any of these insults come into these quotes because I know about all of this. Now, one of the things about this movie is we don't see the crocodile much, right? The crocodile is held off. You see bits and pieces of it, and I think that really helped this movie out because there's a mixture of CGI and of practical effects with this crocodile.
I thought the CGI with the bear, I'm assuming that was CGI. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, because they didn't have to show it in great detail.
Yeah, that was a wild scene though.
There's too many quotes here. I can't find any that are like, crocodiles can't swim in salt water. Yeah, well, that'll be your little secret. Like that's a quote from this movie.
Yeah.
But you're right. The CGI was used sparingly. It's like, you when you use some CGI sparingly in a movie from the 90s, that's really going to propel it to be like, I can watch this in 2023's very own and still enjoy it and not be taken out. And also, when you see the crocodile at the end, it's in the helicopter and it's just thrashing around. Well, that's pretty cool. They've never 7.6 meter crocodile. They've put it in a helicopter.
Well, they might not even put 7.6 meters. They could have just been the head.
It just might have been the head, right?
Because there's budgets. That's budget requirements.
Well, here's the thing that, at the end of the movie, they just got a crocodile on the back of a flatbed.
I was looking at that. I'm going, why would they go to unless they made the whole thing before that and they thought, well, we've done it now. We've got to show it at some point.
Because at that point they hadn't shown the whole crocodile.
No,
like from head to the back of the tail, they hadn't shown the whole crocodile until the very end, in which the crocodile is laying dead on a flatbed truck.
It's not dead; it's tranquilized.
You're right. It is tranquilized.
Yeah.
At that point, if it started moving and thrashing about, and then the movie ends, like that might have been a scene, but. I think they did exactly that. I think they spent all this money on a crocodile. They're like,
yeah,
brother, we haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
We haven't used it.
There are no scenes with the full crocodile. Why don't you just make it like the dude's looking at the accountants going, you spend so much money on the whole crocodile. We only see 30% of the crocodile. All right, let me see what we can do.
I think someone wanted that crocodile in their house. Imagine you rock up to someone's house, like a millionaire's house, right? And I'm talking tens.
No,
to
you
hundreds.
imagine you go to just like some man's house and it's just absolute middle income situation, and they got a 7.6 meter crocodile in their house.
Like, yeah, it doesn't really fit in the backyard, so we've got half of it in the backyard, half of it in the lounge room. You got to step over to get out of it.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious. It'd also be like if you went to just a middle income home, you go into, let's say, a flat. You walk out the back, they've got very, very little space to do outdoor activities. There's just like a whole McDonald's play pit. Just the whole thing, just there. Because people are now starting to buy McDonald's like...
Oh, for real?
I'm talking about they're going to McDonald's, they're saying, hey, listen, I want this play pen thing that you guys had, I want it in my house.
Can I get a quarter pound of cheese, a Big Mac, a large meal, and can I get that play pit?
With all the germs and diseases that are on that play pit.
Yeah.
Because kids aren't washing their hands.
I've never seen a kid wash their hands.
No. And they're also open mouth coughing.
No liquids, no soaps, nothing.
No. And I mean, that'll get something off. It'll get something off. There's not really much in this movie, I will just say.
It kind of doesn't really happen for this movie. There's just nothing really that, even the end part, it was a movie. It almost just like glazed over me.
It was serviceable.
It might have been.
There.
It might have been because my whole lower body was in pain from playing my first game of soccer in 4 years. That I was just sitting there going, there's scenes. There's like frames that are coming up on the screen. They're going to the next one, and then I'm here.
It was an assortment of frames. There was a crocodile in some of them.
There was,
and there was some people and. Look, if you want to just sit down and watch Oliver Platt, you want to see Brendan Gleeson's, you want to see Bill Pullman's, you want to see Kelly Schrodinger, whatever her name was.
Kelly Schrodinger was killer, I thought.
I mean, they were all good together.
The start of the movie was hilarious.
Tell them about the start.
Because she's dating the boss of the museum or whatever.
Because she works in the museum.
She works in the museum. We've really not said anything about this movie, but Kelly Schrodinger is in the museum. Her boyfriend. Her boss breaks up with her. Her boss goes, "You're at the museum. You're on the field in Maine. You're sussing out a tooth." But it's really because I just want to knock boots with your mate that also works in the museum.
Yeah. So really, there's just. I mean, you're saying it's hilarious. That's just looking like that shouldn't be happening in workplaces.
No, it shouldn't be happening. I think it was just funny because I don't know what was funny about it actually. I'm not really sure. But it might have been comedy for someone.
Look, this movie doesn't backtrack, but Vincent did. Now we're gonna. No, so literally, that's the movie. She goes to the place. She might fall in love with Bill Pullman. She might not.
Yeah, that whole situation was dumb. Also, she was there. She was holding her own. She was going I'm normally in the museum. I'm never even out in the museum. There's mosquitoes here. There's ticks. Yes. I'm not about this outdoor area. You got no tent. You got tents with no toilets. But she's still there going like, do not call me ma'am. I'll slap you in the face, you call me ma'am again.
And she slaps multiple people in the face.
Yeah, because he throws a moose head at him. At her.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They were the two wildest scenes in this movie. Straight out the gate, man gets bitten by a crocodile. Help me up, help me up. Brings him into the boat.
He's just half a man.
Half a man. That was honestly, I was in shock.
Yeah.
And then another one, dude's, pulling something that made sound like a baby crocodile. He's pulling it up. He's got it out the boat. He's got his head sticking out the boat, and now his head's in the water. His body's just still there, and his legs are like shaking a bit. Oh, dude, that was.
They do some pretty good special effects in this movie, right? And I'm pretty sure it's Stan Winston's very own. And Stan Winston's been out here. He's doing like Predator. He's a man that made the Predator, right? And I'm pretty sure he also did Alien. So he's a man that knows what he's doing in regards to special and practical effects. And he's done this very well. You see a man like flopping around. He's got his head off. Oh, Kelly's screaming. She might be out the boat at that point. You're thinking like Lake Placid is wild. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's wild. I wouldn't say it's mayhem like the last movie.
No, there were those two scenes. The end scene was kind of whatever. The
end scene was one of the most boring ways to finish a movie.
And then Bill Pullman's going, I'm going to shoot him. No, Bill, please don't shoot him. It's a miracle of nature. He's not. Bang. Oh, it's a tranquilizer, guys. It was just a trank.
Like, I should have probably given you that context. And you might have even known because of the gun, but
also, the crocodile being tranked.
Yeah, but that trank took him out, Like, he hit the Tsar and then it took him out. He thought he was going to go to the club, but he hit that Tsar too hard. He took him out. He stayed home. That's what happened to the croc.
I know what the Tsar is.
Now, here's the thing about this crocodile, right? Or this final scene. So, essentially, the crocodile, they're trying to lure the crocodile with a cow into a space where they can tranquilize it, or kill it, and then take it home, or do whatever they want to do with it.
Put it in the flat.
Now, this crocodile comes through. There's a bit of mayhem. The crocodile takes down a helicopter. The crocodile's in the helicopter. It's thrashing around. That's really the extent of the final scene. It's a bunch of people saying like, "Oh, I'm going to shoot him." Nah, don't shoot him. Yeah, but I got to shoot him.
Oh my God, there's another crocodile. Oh, I shot the other crocodile. Hey, did you feel good because you shot the other crocodile? Hey, it was all right.
That's the end of this movie.
And then the cow walks around, which that was the best part of that whole scene.
I mean, the fact that the cow's still living.
Still living, and it's just like, I'm out of here before these people realise.
Yeah, and we know that Lake Placid 2 is coming because Betty White's feeding these bunch of baby crocodiles in Lake Placid / Black Lake. And that's the extent of this movie. Now, let's give it a rating and we'll get out of here.
4?
Yeah. It's a 5. It's a 5 because the people keep it together.
Yeah, not that well though.
I think it's well enough. I think it's very 90s of the communications that they're having, and I also appreciate that even though it's 90s, they're not out there putting this woman down because she's the only woman in this movie.
That's what I was going to mention when I was talking about how I enjoyed Kelly because these men are doing like misogynistic men things.
Yeah, but she's holding her own.
But Kelly's going like, I'll call you out on this.
Yeah,
I'll call you out on this.
And that's like 2023's very own.
And
not 1999's.
No, that's right. And there was still like Oliver Sears, Mr. Sears, whatever it is, Sears Towers, was saying, "Hey, I'm going to take you to bed," and the lady's like, "Yeah,
yeah, dude." He was just ready to fornicate with everyone. He was ready to fornicate with anything that moved.
Yeah,
including that crocodile.
Including the crocodile.
Yeah.
See, movies like this, I'm baffled as to what the behavior of the crocodile is. Because you got times where the crocodile will just bite someone's head off just for the fun of it. Mm. And then he's there with multiple people in the water and he's just stalking them. What's the move here,
And this is a 7.6 meter crocodile, right?
It's a 7.6 meter crocodile.
You can do stealth to a point when you're that big. That's like, say you got a secret agent, right?
I'm not necessarily saying, okay, you tell me.
Say you got a secret agent. You got a man that's slight, right? He can be doing some stealth. He can be tiptoeing around. He can be doing this. He can be doing that. Say you get a secret agent. You're like, listen, we've got 3 people to choose from. We got this guy. He's 5'6". He's built. He's strong. He's good looking. He can move around a space without anyone knowing. This guy over here, he's 6'2", he's flat-footed. He's not the right guy for the situation, but like he might be good on the computers. And then you got this 8
So like
foot,
an Arnold Schwarzenegger type.
No, I'm talking about now you're about to get an Arnold Schwarzenegger type.
Now you're gonna get.
Now you got this like 6 to 7, like I'm talking about maybe 7 foot individual. Like juiced, like there's gills. He's developed gills because the steroids have to come out of somewhere. He's jacked. He got veins on top of veins, right?
His veins got veins.
His veins got veins. His body just looks like a vein. That's what his body's become. You're not grabbing that man and saying, "Listen, all right, we've got a stealth mission. We're going to bring Veiny McGee. He's going to come and do it."
He's not even fitting through the doors.
And you like. How are you going to be behind a wall when you're as big as the wall? So how is this 7.6 meter crocodile doing stealth? That's what I haven't got with all these movies that we've
You're in the
watched.
water, under the water.
Yeah, but you can go so far under the water. Yes, like obviously Lake Placid quite deep. But if I'm coming to a point where I'm going to eat this man's head, chop his head off.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
I guess if you're coming up with that kind of force. And look, you got to talk to the experts on this one because we'll leave our crocodile knowledge at the door.
Yeah, we'll leave it at
we haven't checked in today, so I don't know what kind of movement there is. Because if someone's coming kind of directly up to the water, it's going to be causing some sort of,
especially like a 7.6. Because you're 7.6 meters.
7.6 meter crocodile.
You're 7.6 meters. You're not moving fast.
You've been in the water. You are that big tail.
That big tail. But like what I'm saying is like, let's say you get a 7.6 meter man, right? He's running.
Yeah, but that's different.
No, but he's running.
It's literally different strokes.
Yeah, but he's
not in the water.
No, but let me tell you. He's going to run, right? Let's say he's fast. He's still making movements that are very well known. Like you're going to hear him coming down. You're going to see, you're going to see him waving around. I know the lake is black and like you can't see into it, but I'm just saying like you get close enough to the water and you're 7.6 meters, someone's seen you.
Maybe we have to go out in the field and test this out.
Yeah, man. And crocodiles scare the hell out of me. So if I saw a 7.6
why
meter,
would they not scare the hell out of anyone? Realistically,
well, because white people be doing stuff like this. I went to a crocodile show. One of those ones where it's like they got crocodiles, they're showing them. The man's was standing in the water with the crocodile. He's like, yeah, I can't see it. I just can't see it.
You looked at your partner like, I can't see this man's anymore. Where'd he go?
If I saw that man like get taken down, everyone would have been going like, oh, like, somebody help him, like doing stuff like that. I'd have just walked out of there.
You got your money's worth.
Dude, not only did I get my money's worth, but like you're watching that, you might get caught up. Like that crocodile might be like, now I've got a taste for humans, and he like looks up and sees just a gathering of just individuals in one space.
He's just going, I got the whole smorgasbord here.
That's like a 10-piece. You open up your KFC, there's a 10-piece in there, and we're not fans of KFC over here, but
No, that's right.
so yeah, I give this movie a 5, and the crocodile, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 based on just the practical effects and the good use of CGI.
Look, this was a fine movie. It didn't try to do anything crazy. It just was just a little bit flat. A little bit flat.
Yeah.
I think if the ending was better, it might have been a better movie. Like if the movie was better, it would have been a better movie as well.
But sometimes movies rely on their endings. You could be going through a real bad movie, then you see this ending.
And that's exactly what happened in Millennium Actress.
And we're here for that. And you can go back and listen to that episode if you like your anime, if you like people going through time, through film, through the broad lens of film, then you can go watch Millennium Actress. But if you like crocodiles, this has been Croc-Vember. That's all I'm going to say, because we're ending Croc-Vember.
Talk soon.